Recovery is we provide fly fishing retreats for men that are living with cancer, men that are actively in treatment for cancer, men who've recently been diagnosed with cancer, or may be in remission and may be in remission for 10 or 15, 20 years. Cancer takes a toll on all of us, and we want to help these men live a better, enjoyable life through some fly fishing.
So I think Real Recovery gives men the opportunity to talk about their issues and learn to talk about their issues in a safe environment without judgment of any kind. Courageous conversations are important because that's where, if you haven't had the opportunity to talk about your disease, that's where you get your first taste of being drawn out of your shell, your fortress you build around yourself. And that's the opportunity where you're asked questions. You can see on the faces of the people that are in the room and in the circle how they start thinking about their own answers, but then automatically they're drawn to their fellow participants' answers. And you can see the exchange of the experiences that they have.
I think it's great to be able to connect with other people that have gone through situations that you've gone through. You know, a lot of times fishing buddies may or may not know what you're dealing with, but those other participants do, and they kind of have a perspective into what you're going through.
We're all humans, we're all individuals, and we all have emotions. And if those emotions are not shared properly, you end up having other problems that develop not only mentally, but the stress that you create by doing that, suppressing it, actually affects you physiologically. The vest ceremony is one of my favorite things to kind of participate in because it's kind of paying homage to the thousands of people nationally and internationally that have been involved with Real Recovery and been participants and recipients of the retreats. And what I try to bestow upon individuals whenever they're getting ready to select their vest is the significance of the process. Most people that nowadays, that if they truly fish, they don't use vests often. We use slings and little lanyards and all kinds of different ways to carry our stuff. But the vest has been traditional in fly fishing. And so these individuals, once you explain to them that individuals from all over the United States and New Zealand have placed their names on these vests, and it's been over a period of maybe 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years. And so you are essentially taking some of their experience with you. When you add your name to that vest, you become part of that amazing energy that's transferred from retreat to retreat, from state to state, from country to country. And then you become part of the legacy of Real Recovery. So in essence, that's the part where the participants that have put the time in, made the decision to come to Real Recovery and find out what it's all about. They understand then that they become part of this program. Believe it or not, for a lot of the men that are participants, a lot of their highlights, aside from the courageous conversations that Dr. Lotok has with them, is the fishing. Part of that allure and the mystique of fly fishing is we're able to take that worry away from them, because on the second morning, whenever they finish a courageous conversation and everybody's had breakfast, they get to meet their fishing buddies. And the fishing buddies are basically, they are the pathway for these guys to not only have a good time fishing, but then start talking, because there's a magic that happens, and I'm not quite sure if it's like the program's geared that way, but I think our human nature is we have this person next to us who's helping me, and you just naturally start talking to them. The fishing buddies are a component of the Real Recovery Program, that we bring in individuals who are knowledgeable in fly fishing, knowledgeable in flies, knowledgeable in casting, and have a desire to help people. And it's amazing how once the participant realizes, oh, I don't have to know all this, and they look to their fishing buddy, and the magic happens. There's a bond there. Well, this guy's going to help me. And by that point, the macho mentality of, well, I don't know what I'm doing is already melted away. All that's kind of dissipated by that time. And so you're out there learning this new sport. So you spend a little bit of time practicing that. And then from the rest of the morning, from about 9:30, 10 o'clock till lunchtime, you're out fishing, catching fish, releasing fish. And then at the end of the day, you come back in, have lunch, and most of the time, if you're feeling energetic enough, you go back out. Fly fishing is one of the most intimidating sports that a lot of people believe, oh, I can't do that. I've never fished. How can I fly fish? And when they find out exactly what it really entails, I think it kind of takes some of the edge off. So fly fishing, I think, is a draw because there is a mystique about it. I guess you would call it an allure of such a, and some people call it an elitist sport. I don't believe it's an elitist because you can fly fish with just simple things that anybody can actually fly fish. And so they come back to it. The fly fishing, in my opinion, is kind of the cherry on the ice cream, because if somebody was told, hey, we just want you to show up and we want to talk to you the whole weekend, I don't think we would have a lot of participants. So that's the actual fly or the allure to bring a lot of participants out, to expose them to a new sport. And maybe it becomes a lifetime practice. Yeah, the closing ceremony happens after lunch on the third day. And by that time, the fishing is done. Everybody knows it's getting close to time to take off. But before they go, there's a closing ceremony, as we call it. So we get all the participants circled in a circle, and they're in the center. And then around them is the fishing buddies. And then around them are the crew, the retreat coordinators, and the people that help put this thing together and make it happen. And then in the center is, of course, our facilitator, our retreat facilitator. And he usually shares a significant breakthrough with the individuals and something that the individuals had shared with him during these courageous conversations. A lot of them actually, including myself, we end up tearing up because we know what they've gone through, and then we know what fears that they've overcome in that short period of time. And they've done this all on the premise of a little bit of fly fishing and a little bit of guided conversation. And at the end, there's a celebratory slogan and a cheer that we give.
Be well, fish on!
I was hesitant to want to do it myself in the first place, to put myself out there and to talk about cancer with others. But after going through the retreat, I don't know why I was hesitant, because it's so rewarding, so fulfilling to discuss cancer with others that are going through it as well. You get a sense of camaraderie, you get a sense that we all have each other's back. So it is well worth the time, and the experience is second to none.
I felt like being a buddy was cool, but in a way I feel like I kind of maybe got just as much, if not more, out of it than the participants. So it was a great experience. But it was great hearing stories, just making connections with people. There's some people that I met that I would really like to come in contact with again. Some neat things to do this summer. Mike and I even talked about getting together and fishing maybe this summer, so that would be really neat. I think I'm looking forward to that. Hearing some of the stories and seeing the struggles that these guys go through, it gives you a new appreciation for, when you have a bad day and you complain about your day, but you find that there's people that really are going through a lot of things that deal with a bad day and other things on top of that. So it gave me a new appreciation and how people look at life differently. So that was probably the main thing.
Let me just get this straight here. When you come and do these retreats, the thing it's these men are great guys. You never met any of these men before, but a friend of mine said at one of the closing ceremonies that from volunteering that he leaves a better man than he came in. And I agree with that.